Hello, this is Schaefer from the Ministry of Sailing, coming to you from the Eastport Yacht Club in Annapolis, Maryland, during the J22 Worlds. In this episode, we're going to take a look at what happened when a misaligned pad eye on a superyacht failed and ended up killing a sailor. And then later, we're going to share some lessons learned so you'll understand on your boat how the small things don't become big things. Stay tuned.
Get ready for a massive roll-up. Think about a candy bar. Right there. Let's go.
Here's the background. Farfalla is 105 feet long and she weighs 99 tons. She's flagged out of Malta, and in 2022 she was practicing for the Superyacht Challenge in Antigua when they had an accident. Unfortunately, one sailor was killed, and we're going to discuss that in the future. They were out practicing the day before the regatta started. When they hit a wave, something went wrong. Farfalla is a 99 gross ton superyacht built by Southern Winds out of South Africa in 2014. It's hull number 3 out of a series of 5. The mast and the boom are constructed out of carbon fiber. It's a single-masted yacht, or a sloop, with about 516 square meters when sailing upwind, and as much as 653 square meters sailing downwind. This vessel, 105 feet, can go approximately 27 knots when she's reaching across the great seas of the ocean. For the 2022 Superyacht Challenge in Antigua, the crew members on Farfalla were going to be using their staysail and a full main. A runner is rigged on the opposite side of the staysail to ensure the stability of the mast is equalized because the forces that it might be experiencing. The tension of the runner is adjusted on one of the port winches on the main deck. As they continued sailing upwind on the port tack towards Green Island, the yacht slammed into a trough that tends to be common around the waters of Antigua. In an instant, the pad eye gave way. The runner block that was attached to it took off at high speed, and most unfortunately, the victim that was killed was sitting between the winch and the pad eye block that failed. Therefore, it hit him in the head. As soon as the crew members realized the severity of Sam's injuries, they made a mayday call and they headed back to Antigua's port. Let's not let the incident that took a great sailor away from his family, friends, and the rest of us go unanswered. Let's go to the lessons learned so you can understand the small things, taking care of them now before they turn into big things and possibly tragic losses later. The inquiry showed us a couple things. Number one, take a look at this image. You can see this is the pad eye that failed because it was removed from the deck. This image shows the failed port forward pad eye. The red arrow indicates the location of the pad eye. The green star shows where the sailor was struck in the head. This is an identical block that was affixed to the pad eye right before it failed. All of the other pad eyes were disassembled from their fixed positions on the hull. They were observed to see what other types of defects they might have. On the starboard side, the exact same pad eye was installed in the exact same position. Here's the results of what the testing showed when they removed it from the hull. The U-boat had fatigue failure caused by cyclic on and off loads that reduced the strength of the pad eye. But more importantly, what was discovered is the pad eyes were not installed in line with the loads. They were crossed with the loads. When we look at the instructions of loads when it comes to how to align them from the manufacturers, we can see that this was misaligned from the beginning. Let's remember, this boat was built 8 years earlier, and it had been raced a lot and sailed across the ocean many times. Every single time somebody had to attach a runner, they attached the runner onto that pad eye. And that pad eye was installed incorrectly. Now, did somebody verbalize this is wrong? Did somebody say that doesn't look right? If you talk to riggers, almost every single rigger you talk to will say that was incorrectly installed. If you look yourself in the installation of pad eyes, the instructions are clearly they must be in line with the loads. The investigations analysis showed that it has likely reduced the pad eye's load and braking strength by as much as 45% because it was installed incorrectly. If you're a sailor, you probably know that you spend a lot of time working on the running rigging, inspecting blocks and things like that. But the pad eyes are going to be just as important to inspect everything that running rigging attaches to also needs to be inspected. And when you see an anomaly or something doesn't feel right, make sure you write it down and share it with the captain or the person in charge of the vessel. Now, you might ask, well, didn't a trained professional install the pad eye on Farfalla? Well, the answer of that is yes, but did they follow the instructions? Of course they did not. Always read your manuals and understand the loads whenever you're installing something on your vessel that has a lot of tension. Here's an example of one of the things we're talking about when we talk about placing a U-bolt or a pad eye in the wrong direction. On this vessel, as you can see, it is not placed in line with the forces. This is where the block hooks up to the spinnaker sheet. As you can see, this is already bent. There's a problem with it on the exact other side as well. In discussions with the boat owner, he replied, "It's always been like that, and I thought that's what it was supposed to be like." That is absolutely incorrect. One of the problems that we have is sometimes when you get a vessel and things are already set up, there is a massive assumption which says it's supposed to be that way. In this instance, that is an incorrect installation of a pad eye. It is extremely important for crews to identify dangerous areas, or what I like to call triangles of pain. The no-go areas are triangles created on highly loaded running rigging that has been deflected before being loaded onto a winch. Not only is signage important, you should also put controls together like pass through here quickly or don't go through there altogether. These areas need to be included in every briefing. Since this accident, a lot of sailors, pro on bigger boats, or those that are operating aloft, or those wherever there might be a lot of loads involved, are wearing helmets. You know, a helmet may or may not have helped in this instant, but I'll tell you this much, it's starting to change. Sailors are wearing helmets all the time. Make sure you understand the ratings of helmets, and you could use one just like this. One of the places that's going to be important to wear a helmet is on the bow, by the mast, or where forces are generated that are very high that could cause an injury. But when purchasing a helmet or looking for helmets to wear, we like to recommend the Alpine skiing certifications and standards. You see, while you're skiing, you're in water, but also the forces are very similar to what you'll experience while you're on a sailboat. And one of the other benefits you have on helmets is the customization you can do for your teams. But most importantly for kids, there's an attachment that you can put on for a GoPro, and that's cool. This is Schaefer from the Ministry of Sailing. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned. You're gonna love our next one, PFDs on solo sailors. Yes or no? Follow us.